From Vermont Public, this is The Frequency. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. It's Friday, March 14th, and here are today's headlines. The Vermont Senate yesterday afternoon confirmed Zoie Saunders as the state's Secretary of Education, nearly 1 year after initially rejecting her appointment. The vote was 22-8 in favor of her confirmation. All 13 Republicans in the chamber and 9 Democrats voted in her favor. Senate Leader Phil Baruth, who voted against Saunders last April, this time cast his ballot to keep her in the post. The Chittenden County Democrat Progressive said that lawmakers could afford no distractions given the historic education reform proposals currently before them.
What the decision comes down to now is, do I believe it's better to have a Secretary Saunders or a negative vote against her and continuing uncertainty? Clearly, I prefer the former.
He also argued that a vote for Saunders was not necessarily an endorsement of the governor's sweeping and controversial plans to overhaul schools, but instead a commitment to good faith negotiations. Both of Vermont's U.S. senators say they will vote to shut down the federal government instead of supporting a short-term budget bill passed by House Republicans earlier this week. Senator Peter Welch says he strongly opposes the House plan because it gives President Donald Trump and his senior advisor Elon Musk additional authority to cut programs without congressional approval.
It would validate all these DOGE cuts and guarantee that Elon Musk is given a free rein. The implications of a shutdown are also dangerous. And that's the dilemma that we face.
In a written statement, Senator Bernie Sanders said he would also vote against the House plan because it would, quote, provide a green light for the Trump administration to continue its illegal and unconstitutional activities. A vote is expected today. A St. Michael's College biology professor is working with student researchers to track bobcats in urban and suburban spaces. Professor Declan McCabe's team has set up trail cameras on the Colchester campus and surrounding area. Yesterday on Vermont Edition, he said they're also keeping their eyes out for the elusive mountain lion or catamount, a species that was last officially documented in Vermont in the late 1800s. So far, though, no luck.
Every general location where we've put cameras, we've done South Burlington, we've done Intervale in Burlington, we've done highway underpasses, we've done our own campus. And everywhere that we put cameras, we have recorded bobcats.
McCabe has captured footage of bobcats eating gray squirrels, snowshoe hares, cottontail rabbits, and even an occasional deer. President Trump has appointed a 6-term New Hampshire lawmaker to lead New England's FEMA office. Salem Representative Fred Doucette was sworn in as the Region 1 Administrator of FEMA on Monday, according to the New Hampshire Bulletin. The Republican lawmaker resigned from his legislative seat, and as House Speaker pro tem for the position, Doucette co-chaired both of Trump's presidential campaigns in New Hampshire. The appointment comes after Trump's suggestions to eliminate FEMA. A nearly 500-acre parcel of private land in Wallingford has been conserved in perpetuity as federal land. The White Rocks Gateway parcel features popular trails like the Ice Bed Network and views of the Taconics and Green Mountains. Shelby Sems is with the Trust for Public Land, which coordinated the acquisition.
It's just a remarkable place, in part because of the geology, really fascinating geology of the White Rocks area, quartzite cliffs.
Sems says the newly conserved parcel connects protected land in the Otter Creek Valley with the Green Mountain Spine. Corridors like this let wildlife and plants migrate upwards to adapt to human-caused climate change. The acquisition was funded by a host of public and private partners, including the Federal Land and Water Conservation Fund. That money doesn't come from taxpayers, but from offshore oil and gas leases. Coming up, an audio diary chronicling a couple's first foray into puppy parenting. That's after this.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency, where support comes from VITA, supporting business growth and innovation in the Green Mountain State. From agriculture to manufacturing, energy to food production, find solutions that turn your business dreams into reality. Visit VEDA.org and see how VITA can help make it happen.
Chris Attaway and Beth Lewis didn't have any kids or pets. So when Chris told producer Erica Heilman they were getting their first puppy, Erica asked if he would keep an audio journal of their journey. For 7 months, he did. In this excerpt of Rumble Strip, we present The Puppy Diaries.
Dog brush.
Oh, yeah.
Dog bowls.
Yeah.
And treats. Do we need a calendar with dogs on?
We start the night before Mouse's arrival with Chris and Beth in bed.
I wanna hold her and have a cuddle.
Yeah, I want to Yeah, I really want to do all that. And start bonding with her.
Yeah. We'll be calling her a good girl and stuff like that. There'll be another one of us.
Yeah.
Won't just be me and you anymore.
Yeah.
Mouse arrives.
I'll pop you down, you can have a little explore. This is your new home, Mouse. What do you think about that? Yeah. Want to come out and have a little wee-wee? Yeah, that's right. You did a wee-wee. You did a wee-wee.
You did a big one.
Didn't you? That's okay. You did a wee-wee. She wants to come on.
Day 9.
This is the 4th time she's whined at the back door and I've let her out. No, you're not. You've just done a poo, Mouse. Come on, for the love of God. No, you've pooed. I'm not letting you out now. You're empty.
Day 14.
The books that we've read say if your dog is chewing your furniture, it's because they don't have a better alternative. Make sure you have loads of great chew toys that they love. It doesn't work. I mean, no one says what happens when that doesn't work.
Day 15.
I don't like her today. I don't like her. I'm not enjoying it. I don't like it. They're not fun. Even this, we're playing at the moment, quote unquote playing. The bonding time with your puppy. Play a bit of tug. Yeah, come on, Mouse. This is training doing sit with Mouse. Hey, Mouse. Sit. Good girl. Good girl. Very good. Clever girl. Sit. Stay. Mouse, stay. Okay. Good girl. That's such a good girl.
Chris and Beth in bed. Hitler.
Getting her out of our bedroom is like my number one priority. For your mental health. For our relationship.
She dominates, doesn't she, at the moment?
She's
Do you think?
everything.
Yeah.
It's mental. And the fact that now she's started to try and indicate to us when we should go to bed because she's ready to go to bed.
Yeah. It's dictating our lives. She's a little Hitler. Hey! Just tried to bite me. At least Hitler didn't bite.
Don't get a puppy. Like,
Don't get
really
a puppy.
don't get a puppy.
Don't get one.
Day 49. Chris in the grocery store parking lot.
I was at home earlier and Mouse is just nipping, but it feels like it's more than nipping. She's like full on trying to eat my feet, and no amount of, oh, too bad, and closing the door, leaving the room. No amount of that. Trying to swap it out, swap my feet for chew toys. Not having it. It's constant feet, all the time. I want your feet. Never ends. Feet. I feel quite hopeless. I can't see an end because I can't see any progress and I can't put it right and I feel like a failure. And now I'm back to crying again. So I just feel so sad that I wanted a dog and I'm not enjoying it. I feel like I'm going absolutely mad. I want to like it, and I'm not. I'm already worried about going home.
Day 201.
Oh, you're a wet dog. Oh, she's such a wet dog. Oh, she's such a wet dog. Let me get that bum. Let me get that little bum. And your little armpits. You have armpits, Mousy? Dog pits? What do you call them? Yes, I love you. Yes, I love you. Come on. Go, Chicken. Yeah. You know the loss of your life when you get a puppy.
getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to sit on the sofa with the dog. And Gilmore Girls, that will remind me of Mouse forever. Watching Gilmore Girls in the dark. These days, I'm way more full of affection for her, and
yeah, and I freak myself out because she approaches everyone, because she's such a pretty dog, and I think someone's going to steal our dog. Oh my God, what if someone stole her? That's awful.
I don't think about stealing, but I often think about when she's going to die.
Yeah, I know.
That makes me...
Oh God. It's losing her.
Honestly, there were times where I thought, well, if she ran off now or got ran over or something, maybe that would be okay and I'd feel relief. And that's a really terrible... Well, it's a natural thing, I think, to think. Look at her now, she's curled up asleep. Little dog. This dog is now 7 months.
Yeah.
And I love her.
Yeah.
Now let's turn from puppies to our weekly check-in on news from the world of sports. The UVM women's basketball team will be on the road with a chance to get to the NCAA tournament when they tip off against the Albany Great Danes in New York tonight. This is the third straight year the Catamounts have made it to the America East Conference Championship, punching their ticket after toppling the Bryant Bulldogs in the semifinal 62-45 Monday night. Catherine Gilby led the way with 11 first-half points in that game for the Catamounts, finishing the game with a season-high 16 to lead all scorers. The second-seeded Catamounts have a tougher task tonight as they take on the top-seeded Great Danes on their home court. That game will be streamed live on ESPNU with tip-off scheduled for 5 p.m. The news was not as good for the UVM men's basketball team, denied a chance to make it to the big dance after falling to the Maine Black Bears in the America East semifinals 57-42 at Patrick Gym on Tuesday. The Catamounts suffered the loss despite Sam Alamadu pulling down 21 rebounds, matching a school record set by Kevin Roberson back in 1992. The Black Bears move on to face the Bryant Bulldogs in the conference finals, with the winner getting an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Moving to the pros, we may have seen a preview of this year's NBA Finals when the Boston Celtics took on the Oklahoma City Thunder Wednesday night, falling to the Western Conference leaders 118-112 in Boston. Thunder point guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander may just be this year's league MVP, and he poured in 34 points to lead all scorers in the win over the defending NBA champs. It was the second time in as many regular season meetings this year between the two conference powerhouses that OKC came out on top. Jason Tatum nearly matched SGA's point total with 33 of his own, but the Celtics' strategy of throwing as many three-point attempts at the basket as possible, in fact, a franchise record 63 tries from beyond the arc, didn't pan out. To the NHL, and last week I predicted that Charlie Coyle and Justin Brazeau would be among the players shipped out by the Boston Bruins at the NHL trade deadline, and that proved to be the case. Give credit to GM Don Sweeney for getting a pretty good return on those deals with prospects and draft picks, plus Casey Middlestat, a kind of younger version of Coyle, who came over in the trade with Colorado. Sweeney also snagged a highly rated prospect from the Toronto Maple Leafs when he acquired Fraser Minton in a deal that sent defenseman Brandon Carlo to the Leafs. Now, when teams are sellers at the deadline, it usually means they've waved the white flag for the season. But lo and behold, the Bruins went on a mini winning streak, taking 2 straight against the Lightning and the Panthers, and the win against the latter was a comeback from a 2-0 deficit with 3 unanswered goals in the third period for the win. The exclamation point came when towering Bruins defenseman Nikita Zadorov got into a fight with Sam Bennett in the game's waning seconds. Bennett was the player who knocked Brad Marchand out of last year's playoffs with a sucker punch that left the former Bruins captain concussed, and the Boston crowd roared its approval when Zadorov sent Bennett sprawling to the ice in the square-off. But wait, did I just say former Bruins captain Brad Marchand? Yes, I did. My plea to the hockey gods to not let Sweeney trade the future Hall of Famer and only active player left from the last Bruins team to win the Cup in 2011 fell on deaf ears as Sweeney dealt number 63 to the aforementioned Panthers. Not re-signing Marchand to a short-term deal to let him finish his career with the only team he's ever played for is a deep wound to the fan base. And Sweeney then poured lemon juice into that cut by getting only a second-round draft pick, which could become a first-rounder if certain conditions are met in return. That's not nearly enough for a player fans adored and was instrumental in ending a 39-year Stanley Cup drought in the hub of hockey. Now, the Bruins are still mathematically in the hunt for a wild-card playoff berth pending the outcome of their game last night against one of the teams they're chasing, the Ottawa Senators, but they have 4 teams to leapfrog to get there, including the Montreal Canadiens, who sat 1 point ahead of Boston after losing in overtime 5-4 to the Seattle Kraken Wednesday night. Seattle's Brandon Montour made history in that win, by the way, scoring just 4 seconds into the extra frame for the fastest overtime goal ever scored in the NHL. In NFL news, the New England Patriots improved their defense with some good free agent signings, most notably defensive lineman Milton Williams. A hefty price tag for him, though, at $104 million for a 4-year contract, plus middle linebacker Robert Spillane and cornerback Carlton Davis. However, they're losing their 10-year veteran center and one of the best to ever play the position for the franchise, David Andrews. ESPN reports the Pats are releasing the 32-year-old following his offseason shoulder surgery, and it'll be tough to find a comparable replacement for him in that critical position. And that's a look at news from the world of sports. Thanks for listening to The Frequency today. We had additional reporting from Lola Dufour, Bob Kinzel, Michaela Lafrac, Adia Golston, and Abigail Giles. Our executive producer is Kevin Trevelyan, and our music is by Blue Dot Sessions. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. Talk to you tomorrow.
Each morning, it's a new opportunity, a chance to start fresh. Up First from NPR makes each morning an opportunity to learn and to understand. Choose to join the world every morning with Up First, a podcast that hands you everything going on across the globe and down the street, all in 15 minutes or less. Start your day informed and anew with Up First by subscribing wherever you get your podcasts.